Busy day for you? Yeah, it looks just perfect, mate. No, it's all, you've got to be able to impress here now. Yeah. We've all got long flowing locks at this age of our life, haven't we?
Yeah,
Get you again. You're right. Yeah, back again, fellas. Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you.
You look like you've had a hard day out there at the airfield.
Oh, yeah, 48 minutes are fine.
Put that up there tonight. Okay.
So, are we going to have a glass of wine and beer?
Well, I'm going to get a beer.
Yeah.
So, you know, to start with, what about Nobody can hide. You're welcome.
Well done, Robe.
Thank you very much.
Jamie Aiken and the others that have taken it all note to name, and the help that's gone into it, the enthusiasm, and it's been fantastic, and it's worked. And we've got the community, not all just aviators. It's a social thing, our aviation scene. That's what we want to make it. Not, you don't have to fly anything. It's a case of getting people together that think a bit out there and want a bit of fun, and that's all we want to do. You know, you don't have to fly. Or, you have to know somebody that flies. Perhaps that helps. But it's just wonderful.
Many years ago in Alice, and aviators are a bit of a breed apart. Once you get to know them, you know them forever. You turn up in some of the funniest places. In a previous life, I was sitting on a bulldozer.
My apologies to everyone I cut off today. Forced to the grass. I think Cole was one of them. There was someone in Jamboree went to the long grass, but you didn't need to move to the long grass. Thanks for all coming. It was a great day out there today. I think I got sunburned myself. So we got the weather we hoped for all the last few months.
And lots and lots of times we go away flying to different places, and we indulge quite a few times. And there's lots and lots of times I wish we were up there, wishing we were down here. But we got there and we went to Mangalore once, and I was sitting in the back seat, and I don't know how many times we stopped, but we finally got back to Hamilton under crook weather. But Cole taught me a lot to fly, how to fly, and every time I go flying with him, it brings back a lot of memories. But there's a gentleman beside me, Barry, who got us in a lot of trouble over here at Robe, back in '92, I think. And there was Barry, myself, Cole, and Alistair McNichol. And the night before, we were in the opposition place down the road at the Kelly. Anyway, we decided to go to McNichols and pick up the other aeroplane, which hadn't been hanging for years and years and years, and hadn't been flying for a little while. Anyway, we finally got it going and came back here and we did a lot of low flying and beat ups and whatever. And then finally, someone with a bit of authority caught up with us. And what was my nickname?
Minnesota Joe.
Anyway, there was a third pilot, and they couldn't catch up with him, and my name was Minnesota Joe. He was an American pilot, and he left, and a crop duster, he left the country very quickly. Anyway, thanks very much.
The far distant land of Pathaway. Who knows Pathaway? I've got a very old friend of mine here alongside Terry, and we've had a wonderful time here today. And it's just absolutely glorious to see enthusiastic people around aeronautics and aviation and all that. It's just
act together, because it really has been fantastic, and you can't hear me. That's unusual. No, I don't have to talk for that long either. In short, it's fantastic. I'm somewhat disappointed that I didn't win a prize today, but apart from that, it's been sensational, and everybody enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Women's World Championship in gliding. So, and she has got still 3 world records in speed in glider, still standing, which was done in Minden, Nevada. So I chased Marta once over there. I was almost winning, but she called on the radio, Ziggy, it's a bit of turbulence behind the peak, which I looked left and she was gone. So 2 minutes. Well, I don't really fly as well as her, but I think I've got the talent. So, what else can I say about my flying? Yeah, I did flew in Australia. I was working for the Air Force 25 years back here in Australia, and so I flew with them. I'm not a pilot. They just wanted me to have a feel what happens during the flight with all of the jets, just purely for some medical aspect, because I was the civilian medical officer for them. So, and we flew once from Edinburgh to Wimmera, and it was a big jet. So, and I called the tower when we were approaching Wimmera. It was still dark, and they didn't respond. So I called back again, and someone said, "Who's F is flying that aircraft?" So I said, "That's me, comrade." So we landed over there, and we went to the base. And the guy who helped us out, he asked me, "Where do you fly?" So I had my uniform, no name tags, and I said, I'm from Russia, and I'm just, trying to fly with you skippy boys. And he said, "Oh, really? What do you fly?" I said, "Well, I flew MiG-32. That was last time in Singapore." And he said, "So you crashed it?" I said, "Yeah, I was just going slow, and I just ejected, and and it was fine." So 200 autographs, photos during the breakfast. So the Australian pilot, he couldn't stop laughing. So on the way back home, he said to me, "That's really good flying." I said, "Mate, I'm just kidding. I'm a medical officer in the base. I was just joking." And he said, "You will pay for that." And we, that guy came back from Wimmera, and he was in the base, and was another PC-9 flight. 2 hours. There was a bet that $200 that would get me sick. So I got some medications before that flight, no breakfast. So I went for the flight. I got really in trouble, but I didn't use the silver bag, so I got my $200. And I left my camera before the flight, so I asked him to take some photos. So I came back to the base after the flight, and I felt a bit sort of crook. And the first patient walked in, and I said, "So what can I do for you?" And he said, "Oh, nothing really much, but I mean, you look like shit." So that was the day of flying. I came back home, got the camera. At the time it was before the digital, so it was just the pictures. So I left it with the lady, and when I came to pick it up, she said, where do you work? And I said, "Well, I'm working in Edinburgh on the airbase." And she said, "Well, it's a funny work, what you do over there." So what do you mean? And it was a picture of 12 of them, pants down in front of the aircraft. So there was a payback for the comrade joke. So that was my experience in aviation in Australia.
That way, but this one only looks the right way upside down. So folks, it's your chance to own a bit of Robe aviation history. Whoa!
want to bid for it. I bid 25. I want 35. Who wants 5? I want 25. Who'll give me 25? 25 to the gorgeous lady in green. Who'll give me 30? Thank you, Blackie. 30. Here's a man of great personification.
Over the back.
Over the back. 35. 40. I've got 40 coming down for this hat. This could be owned by a man who'll go to the moon. This is an amazing machine. This is a wonderful hat. It's an upside down flying man's hat. Who's in it? Who's game enough? Who'll give me a bid? 45. I want 45. Who give me 45? I want 45 now. 45. 50. 50 to Eddie the champion. Who's going to be bid? 55. Done. Eddie.
We've only come from Mount Gambier, and I'd just like to say that we're all looking for somewhere to go. And Mount Gambier has a breakfast once a month, and at 9 o'clock you can all fly in. Give me your emails and I will send you the invitation to come along and join us for breakfast. And you just fly in, have brekkie, have a great day, and then just go home. So it's a great time, and aviation is growing. So please come along and enjoy, have a great time, and congratulations to the Robe.
Like there's people all over the place from Alice Springs and from Loxton, from everywhere. I've got to say, this is not without a lot of work from some serious people in amongst this community. The Robe community have really pulled together to be able to get this show on the road and to make it happen. And you guys are the people that have come along to support it. And it's not without a lot of work from a lot of the community in here. So Jamie Atkin, we have worked with you all the way in the whole winter events community. Thank you, mate. It's a pleasure to be involved with you guys. And it's a pleasure to be involved with the whole Robe community. That was my point. I really just want to acknowledge that. And I want to acknowledge everybody coming along here today. It's a sensational event to get everybody, all of the aircraft into Robe. It's 800 metres. 800 metres on that strip. And without a 20 knot crosswind or 20 knot on the wind, on the nose wind, it's very serious to be able to get some great aircraft in there. So well done for all of you pilots that have pulled it into there. I know what it's like to get an aircraft in there. I know what it's like to get an aircraft out of there. And there's some serious aviators in amongst us all. So thanks very much for all of you guys to be able to pull that together. And amongst all the stories that I saw of today, there was one that comes to mind, and it is a really cool story, and it goes to Annie Haynes. Now, Annie relates the story so well, and I'm gonna duck show it to Annie because she does it so well. So Annie, I'd love you to tell the cat story. Can you do that? I know I'm putting you on the spot. Really around. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Put your hands together for Annie.
I have to tell you, the cat story is not my story. The cat story is a wonderful pilot, Chris Fitzner. He is a commercial pilot and he does a lot of flying in many and various aircraft. On this particular occasion, he was summoned to pick up a sick woman who had been the cook on a station in the Territory. And then, by the time he got there, apparently the cat had got sick as well, and she also had a budgie, and thinking that she might be back in Adelaide for some time, was it possible to transport the cat and the budgie as well. So Chris is the nicest guy, actually he's very handsome too, and that's quite beside the point of it, I've not realised. Anyway, he said, look, I'm sure that's all right, and the cat was in a box, and the budgie was in a cage. So we get the sick cook, the cat in the cage, and the budgie, and we take off, and everything's going along swimmingly, except for clearly the cat's not that happy about the noise of the 210 taking off. And for people that know what a 210 is, it can be a bit noisy. If you haven't got earmuffs on, of course, as you would have realised, we carry muffs for our dog, but that's another story. Anyway, the cat's a little agitated and the cook says, I think I'll just get the cat out of the cage because if I nurse her, she'll be okay. Big Huge mistake. Well, sorry for your audio cat lovers, but this is hilarious. Anyway, she opens the cage and out comes the cat. Well, the cat is going at this level in the cockpit. And it's a little nervous, so some of the bodily functions aren't in control, and I don't think I have to tell anybody about the odour associated with cat excrement. And so poor pilot is doing his best, but he thinks, holy crap, how are we going to do this? And as luck would have it, on a 210 you can actually open the window, and he did. Well, the cat goes, and I'm sorry, I think that is so funny. Anyway, the cook said, do you think it would have landed on its feet? That's the end of that story.
Anyway, look guys, thanks very much for involving us, Jamie and your crew, from MTA's perspective. It's a pleasure to be involved with the aviation community in the southeast and the rest of the southern parts of Australia. Have a great night and thanks again. Cheers.
Well done, Chris.